Hi, I'm Geodive, and in this video what we're going to try to do, I'll say me, is have a quick look and see if we can get the simple wheeled vehicle movement component to work. Okay, and I say try because yes, I have managed this on 2 occasions now, and one of the big issues that people have been having seen is that it doesn't move. Okay, so I remembered a couple of things from a while back, and I thought, okay, there's got to be ways and means. So let's just start off with the very basics here. Right, you can see I've already got the things done and started up, and we don't really want to touch them. So I'll be showing a few of the items which you should be capable of making yourself, and then I'll just concentrate on the actual blueprint for the vehicle. So let's start off. Start off with the skeleton, or let me say the mesh. And here we got the mesh, and you can see the way things are linked up. So I will just click on show horizons, show bone names, which helps, and I will go in and you will see red X is forward, Z is up. Okay, and that's on everything. Zipping around here, probably getting a bit of lag, and the same, let me go over to that, to the movement. The same applies, let me go into skeleton mode because that'll probably be a bit easier. Now this is one that I made in Blender with bones, that's why I've got that bit up there. Okay, but don't worry about that. And you can see the roots bone. I'll just click off, and you can see X is forward, Z is up, and Y is out to the right. Okay, and it lines up. Now if I just turn it at a bit of an angle, and if you look here in the bottom left hand corner of the window, those lines and angles, directions, whatever you want to call them, axis, line up from the rig to what Unreal Engine actually uses. This is very important. Not so much, well, I won't say not so much important for characters, weapons and whatever your workflow works for them. It's important for vehicles because vehicles use Physics X, and Physics X, if you do not abide by these rules for your axis, then it's going to cause you lots and lots of problems. And don't forget, I've mentioned it umpteen times in lots of videos and posts, the root bone of your rig has to be at 0, 0, 0. Otherwise you're going to have lots of problems. So if you're getting weird results and whatever, first things to check is that when you get your mesh in the editor, is that yes, the root is at 0, 0, 0, and yes, the bones are aligned correctly. So next bit, let me just get my content browser up, and we go to the physics asset. Now, yeah, straight into the middle of it. Right, physics asset in this case, when you create the physics asset, whatever, and then basically right click on your root, delete all bones below. Okay, I'm not going to go through this. If you want me to go through it, tell me, and I'll do a separate little video on this sort of thing as well. Okay, so then we make a box, scale it up and put it on there. Notice it's from the root and not the body bone. Okay, the root, very important. Now for if you look over here on the right in the details side, you get the other information there. We'll see that change in a minute. We go on to the bone, front left hand, not very well named geo, and in this case I chose to make a sphere. Now here you can have consider for bounds, what else? We've got physics type default. You can set it to cinematic. Should work with default. Note the word should. Right, and do that for all your wheels. Now, in the case of a vehicle, 99 times out of 100, unless you're doing something fancy, this is basically all you're going to have to do. Now, if you're going to be doing doors and bits and bobs and all the rest of the bits, then you're going to have to sort it out here. You might want to import custom meshes for your bits and pieces. That's up to you. I'm trying to do this quick and stick to the basics. Okay, what else have we got? Right, we have as we say, a wheel. How do you make a wheel? Or it's not well, yeah, it is a wheel, isn't it? Yep. So basically, right click, blueprint class, and you go wheel, not quill, wheel, and you go off a vehicle wheel. Yes, we've got a new blueprint, and that's what it looks like. Normally we don't get that, but hey ho. And you just do all that, and we go from here, and here you can set the collision mesh, user physics asset type, up to you, auto adjust correction. Things you're going to need are offsets in case your bone is not actually in the center, dead center of the wheel. You know, if you got something like wide wheels, you know, your bone might actually be where the hub is and your wheels actually come out a bit further. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to adjust it about so it fits better. And also you got the shape radius, that's from there to there, and the shape width. We've got skinny wheels on this one, and mass. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I say that because I've not messed about with it. Okay, it's not something that really bothers me at the moment. Alright, steering angle, yes, if it's the front wheels or your steering wheels, you'll want a steering angle here. I choose 70 because it makes it pretty damn obvious. And the tyre type, I'll do that in a minute. And then you got your other variables here, like your tyre type, do that in a moment. Your lat stiffs, your values and long stiffs, and your suspension values and all the rest of the stuff. Alright, let's just dump that because I don't particularly want that one, so we'll just delete it. Yes, get away. To make a a tyre type, you might have noticed we've got a vehicle front tyre type here. What do we do here? Let's see, I believe it was under miscellaneous data assets. There we go. Tyre type, select, and we'll do a car tyre. Notice how I spell tyre? Yes, British way, not American. But hey ho. Alright, and all you get in that data type is the friction scale. Now I'm going to make that to 2, just for the heck of it. And what I can then do is in this, I set my car tyre. And that should have been the back wheel, and let's make sure I have got, and it's took it on because that is an actual child of that, I believe. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Right, we've got those bits done. Right, so we've had a look at the skeleton. We've had a look at the mesh. Just make sure in your mesh, if I remember rightly, you have the correct physics asset applied. Okay, that's that one. So get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Save that. And save that. Let me just open that up. Yeah, see, it didn't. Okay. I'll show you my bike in a minute. Not very good, but hey ho. Right. Next one, you can see here I have a car anim blueprint. To do that, instead of clicking on there and create, I went in here, animation, animation blueprint, and then you can take the vehicle anim instance, so otherwise you just get a normal anim instance. Take the car, go OK, and go ABP car. I'm going to get myself extremely confused with so many bits and pieces in here, and here we go straight away, go into mesh, not megs, mesh, and you want the mesh space ref pose. From there you pull out and you want the wheel handler for wheeled vehicles. Whether this is actually going to work for us I cannot say, because you'll see in a minute, but it's there. Right, next thing we do, have a quick slug of coffee. The next thing we have to do, well, I'll say next thing, we'll just have a quick run. Right, we have a animation blueprint, we have wheel blueprint, rear wheel blueprint, a tyre data asset, skeletal mesh, physics asset, and the skeleton. So now we just need the blueprint to get this all put together, and this is where we get to the meat of the things. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new blueprint, and we could go, we'll take this from the wheeled vehicle, but we don't, because as you can see here, I can't point at it, but if you read at the bottom of the pop out, it says CU wheeled vehicle movement component for W. Now that can cause you problems if you want in more than 4 wheels, because that uses a 4-wheel drive engine setup and differential, and they've added a few bits and bobs and they've tweaked it, and I will not guarantee that it actually works for anything more than 4 wheels. So if you do, it's up to you. So what we actually want to do is, as you can see here, the parent of the wheeled vehicle is a pawn. So we're just going to take a pawn as a base. Right, so I'm going to call this BP underscore, I'm just trying to make sure I don't get messed up, toot car. There we go. So just open this up and you've got a basic pawn. So the first thing we want to do here is grab a skeletal mesh component. Now I don't like typing in because I like to see where everything is, but I can never find this one, so it comes under rendering. Okay, now the first thing we do, I keep on saying the first thing, next thing we do here is we need to make the skeletal mesh the actual root of the BP. So we just go click on it, drag it up and drop, and that now makes the skeletal mesh the root. Now we're going to put a mesh in there? Not yet. Okay, next Next we want is, let's make sure I do this the right way round. If you go down to custom, you'll see physical animation, simple wheeled vehicle movement, and wheeled vehicle movement component. Now if, let's see if I just pull this out a bit further, whether it actually comes up. I saw it come up on, see, it's not. I can't make that any bigger. But if you see on the pop out, it says wheeled vehicle movement component 4W. And 4W means 4-wheel drive. And if you're going to be using more than 4 wheels, could cause you problems. Okay, so we said we're going to be playing with the simple wheeled vehicle movement, and that's what we're going to take next. So I now have the skeletal mesh selected, and I'm just going to go down to camera. No, wrong. I won't. I wanted the spring arm, didn't I? Yes, spring arm. So spring arm in there. I don't know. I'm going to mess this. I boo-booed. There we go. Oh, come on. I'll tell you what, easiest solution is delete. Right. In fact, I boo-booed there, so what we're going to do is delete it before I make any more messes. So again, blueprint, pawn, BP, toot, car. Yeah, I'm shouting. There we go. Let's go. Let's have a look under rendering. There it is. Skeletal mesh. Make that default. Right, then I'm going to go under custom, simple wheeled. Then get my spring arm. I'm just going to make my spring arm 600 in length, because with that selected I'm then going to grab a camera, and the camera I'm going to parent to the spring arm. You see it pop back, so yep. So next I'm going to add my SKCar277, and in there I'm going to make sure it uses that one, I think it was. If you see any mistakes, you're quite welcome to correct me on them. I'm just going to dangle that a touch. Alright, so we're pretty much here set up as we're required. Now I'm going to leave something out just on purpose. Okay, and I'll show you why in a minute. In here, in the event graph, this is why the thing doesn't move. First we're going to call the axis inputs, move forward, and then move right. And then we're going to get the simple vehicle movement. Now, the normal thing would be to go for steering, set steering input. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so we want steering angle. So we set that, And now, because we need it for 2 wheels, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate it, add that to there, add that to there. Vehicle index, well, oh, I forgot to do the wheels. Yes, Geo, we'll do that in a minute. Let me just get this set up, and we'll set that to 1. So index 0 and 1 are going to be the front wheels. Now for the inputs here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a times on the float and plug that into both steering angles. It's going to look a mess, but hey ho. There we go. And I know that I need something like 5. No, that's 50. We'll go for 5. And because I'm jumping ahead of myself, what we're going to do here is, instead of moving forward being setting the throttle, what we're going to set is torque. Set drive torque. So we're going to plug that in there, and wheel index, well, I'm going to make it rear wheel drive, so I'm going to set this one to number 2, and we're going to duplicate that again. I'm using Control W to duplicate in case nobody knows about that, and that one's going to be index number 3. Now for the amount of torque we need here, I'm going to press the star button, get a float times float, plug that in there, plug that in there, and I'm going to choose a multiplier, because that's a multiply, of 300. Now you can see here it's looking a bit of a mess. Okay, so that is that. Yeah, I didn't have that as a target, so I'll make that a target, and that's why errors. Fine. Simple vehicle component, we can go in here like this, and you see things like your tyres, your vehicle setup, and there's not a great deal idle input on, and there's nothing on engines or gearboxes. If you want to compare it with the normal vehicle, feel free, and you'll see that it's not got any of that. So if you want in any form of engine and gearbox, you're going to have to do it yourself. Okay, that's why it's a simple, and it is simple. Alright, we're going to add an array of 4 wheels. So the bone, see, that's what happens when you close things down. No, wrong, you want the skelly. You want the skelly because you can click on that and you go copy selected bones. You go, no, wrong one, and you go in there and you go paste, fine. And we're going to go, that's for the front wheel, that's for the front wheel, that's for the back wheel, that's for the back wheel. Not that it really makes a great deal of difference. So I'm going to front right hand, copy, paste, copy, paste, and one last time, copy, paste, compile, and save. Now, as you can see in the background, I'm using the advanced vehicle template here, which, let's go for the BP2 car, go on play, and not doing nothing. Why? I'll show you. This is my intentional mistake, he said. Right. You need to go into the skeletal mesh, and in the details you need to go down. In the physics section you need to tick simulate physics. Okay. Compile, save, play. Now why is this not working? Oh dear. Warnings, errors. Set to simulate but collision. Oh yes, yes. Okay, yeah. See here. I say see here, where my mouse is pointing. Skeletal mesh is selected in the components. Right. I put a tick into the physics, simulate physics, but collisions was set as being no collisions. So we set, you can set to pawn or set to vehicle. See which one works for you. Save, and hopefully, bump. You see how it bounced a bit there? I'm just clicking to make sure I get my movement, and you see the little movement on the front wheels? Don't give you a great deal, does it? And move forward very, very slowly. And pressing the S to try and slow things down. You might have noticed you can go backwards, yes. Right, speed things up a little bit. If you go in here, now I'm not going to max screen this because it does my head in, but if you go in there, I've got that set to 300. Let's set it to 600. Here you turn your axis, you're multiplying, okay? So we'll multiply that by 10, see if that does anything of interest. Plop, and make sure you click. It's just sort of like the multiplier is just how quick it actually turns. The acceleration's a bit better. It doesn't slow down very well, but that's the sort of thing that you expect when you're just using base inputs. Okay. So a little one that I promised to show you, let's get that out of the way, is, I think it was that one. It's a bike. Now there's reasons why it's a bit shaky. You can barely see the front wheels turning. And yes, it doesn't go very fast because the torque multiplier is not very much. Now I'll just give you a quick look on how I cheated on this. Now if you look at the skill mesh, this is how it's set up. It's a basic straight export out of Blender, no rigging, just made sure the axes were set correctly. So what else did we have? A quick physics asset. There's the physics asset. Very simple. 2 boxes on the frame, and then 2 spheres for that. So how did Geo cheat and it not fall over? Because if you just put a wheel on the front and the back, it will fall over. And let's see, it was that one, I believe. So here we got the same setup, set drive, set steering, and the thing that makes it stay up is, yes, I cheated. I added extra wheels on to the back wheel bone, like stabilizers on a child's bike. As you can see here, offsets Y plus 50, minus 50. I would advise to actually have separate bones for these. As you saw, because I've got 3 wheels on the same axis, we're getting a bit of a jittery, and that's not just because of the recording. That does it without the recording. So I think that might be something to do with that. But anyway, I hope that's helped. It's probably took a bit longer than what I expected, and please don't ask for tweaking or anything else. It's just something I managed to work out. Whether it's correct, mainly this bit and this bit, if it's correct, I don't know, but it works, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, so have a nice time, and I'll catch you the next time.